Hi, everybody. This is Jimmy DeYoung with Prophecy Today video. Let me wish you a very Christ-centered Christmas and a blessed New Year. Now, this is going to be the focus of this broadcast, but I must remind you, first of all, about our nationwide weekly broadcast, hour-and-a-half radio broadcast. You can listen to it at our website, prophecytoday.com, PTRN, Prophecy Today Radio Network. That's radio on demand when you want it at your convenience. It's aired every Saturday between 1 and 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast. If you missed any of it, you can listen to what I had to say with my broadcast partners and what they had to say about current events in light of what is going on in our world. We talked with Colonel Bob McGinnis in Washington, D.C., extended conversation about the Afghan report, the situation there with the battle going on to defeat the Taliban and all the ramifications of that, who else is involved, et cetera, et cetera. Bob said that the report coming out of the Pentagon not quite as positive as it should be, and we did, of course, touch base on the don't ask, don't tell situation. David Dolan gave us our Middle East news update. He was a man who recognized early on Hamas was going to be a power to be dealt with, their 23rd anniversary this week. We discussed that with not only David Dolan, but Itamar Marcus. He talked to us about the media outlets of Hamas and what they will be in the future, probably more important than what they are even today. They want to establish an Islamic Republic among the Palestinian people living under the Sharia law. Dr. Rob Congdon gave us a look at the European Union and what's going on, their summit. It's more focused on economics, but they are talking about unifying, tweaking the Lisbon Treaty, and only so by the leadership of the 27 member states. And the development of an army. They want to get stronger. They want to have a say-so in the agenda of the world. Ken Temmerman bringing to our attention about the Iraqi Christians under persecution. He has a brand new book out. It's entitled St. Peter's Bones. One of the programs in the future will be reviewing that book for you. But it is of concern. We need to be praying for and concerned about the Iraqi Christians. The Iraqi Christians under great persecution. Well, all important issues here on Prophecy Today. But our focus for this time of the year has to be Christmas. A couple of thoughts about that. Number one, what is the real reason for the season? Let me just answer my own question. It should be Jesus Christ. Now, why would you say it should be Jesus Christ? Maybe you're asking. Well, first of all, he divided our calendar, BC and AD. Before the birth of Jesus Christ, it was BC. After the birth of Jesus Christ, it was AD. That's significant. Have you ever picked up a coin? Maybe you don't carry many coins in your pocket today because you can't get much with a coin, a nickel, a dime, a penny, for sure. Even a 50-cent piece is difficult. But look at the date on there. It gives a date, and it's the date of the anniversary of the birth of Jesus Christ. That's one of the reasons that we should focus on Jesus for the season. Everybody's thinking about buying gifts, giving gifts, putting up the Christmas tree, going to see Grandma. All of these things are important, but only if we focus on the person of Jesus Christ, because he was virgin born. The Bible said he would be, and indeed he was. He fulfilled every single prophecy dealing with the birth of Jesus Christ. There are many we could talk about. Let me just mention two. Micah 5:2. Jesus Christ had to be born in Bethlehem if he was going to be the fulfillment of the prophecies about a coming of the Messiah. His mother and his earthly father, not the one who had impregnated his mother, the Virgin Mary, but they were living in Nazareth. They could have gone to a Bethlehem about 25 miles south of Nazareth, Bethlehem, Zebulun. But Micah chapter 5 and verse 2 said he had to be born in Bethlehem, Ephrata. That's 97 miles from Nazareth. They didn't come down through the center part of the state. That's Judea and Samaria. Nobody even travels today through that part of the state. They went over to the Jordan Valley, came through Jericho. If Jesus had been born in Jericho, and remember his mother was heavy with child, riding on the back of a donkey after some almost 80 miles into Jericho, I'm sure that somehow labor could have been induced and Jesus could have been born in Jericho. Had he been born there, he would have not been. The Messiah had to go to Bethlehem. He could have been born near the Temple Mount because they came that way going over to Bethlehem. He would not have been the Messiah. Had to be born in Bethlehem, and indeed he was. Very significant, all that took place. Oh, one more thought. Look at Micah 4:8 sometimes. Migdal Adar, it's the tower of the flock. It's where the shepherds watched over their sheep. It's where they birthed the newborn lambs. And when they birthed them, they would wrap them in swaddling clothes and lie them in a manger. The angel said to those shepherds, and by the way, those were priestly shepherds watching over the sheep, to be offered in sacrifice at the temple 3 miles away from the shepherds' fields, that this was a sign you'll find the new Messiah wrapped in swaddling clothes lying in a manger. His first coming fulfilled all the prophecies. Listen, his second coming must fulfill all the prophecies as well. He foretold what was going to happen, and he said this all will take place. His first coming, his birth, his life, the 35 miracles, all that were predicted by Bible prophecy, he accomplished that to prove he was who he said he was. His death, his burial, and his resurrection, that was prophesied. He, 6 months before it happened, said that would take place. He would be in the belly of the earth like Jonah was in the belly of the whale 3 days and 3 nights. That was exactly the case in all detail. Those prophecies were fulfilled. Thus, all of the prophecies about his second coming must be fulfilled as well. He foretold of his return to the earth in the Olivet Discourse, Matthew 24, also parallel passages in Mark chapter 13 and the book of Luke chapter 21. His resurrection was proof that he was who he said he was. In the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 18, he says, I am he that was alive and dead, and I now stand before you alive. See, that's the cornerstone for our faith, and it's the foundation for Bible prophecy. The resurrection of Jesus Christ guarantees he was the one who can give us the future. And, of course, in Revelation 1, verse 19, he tells John the Revelator, write down those things which were, write down those things which are, write down those things which shall happen hereafter. May I tell you something? Matthew 24, the message that Jesus gave on the Mount of Olives just before his death, burial, and resurrection, foretells what's going to be presented in the book of Revelation as Bible prophecy. For example, in Matthew 24, the first reason given for his return to the earth, when the disciples asked him, he said, deception. Lies about who he is or who the false Messiah is. False Messiah, deception in every way. Matthew 24, verses 4, 5, 11, and 24. And it says deception will be communicated through signs, wonders, and miracles. The second sign he gave them was wars and rumors of wars. That's what we're talking about today. They tell me 157 wars are going on someplace in this earth. Of course, the focus on Iran, the focus on Afghanistan, Iraq, etc. are key. They said there's going to be a temple. Jesus in Matthew 24:15 says, when you see the abomination of desolation, look up, I'm about to come. The abomination of desolation has to take place in a temple. They're ready to build the temple. And he concludes this Olivet Discourse, as it was in the days of Noah. They were living in a place called Babylon. Babylon is modern-day Iraq. You see, all the prophecies that Jesus Christ gave about his second coming will be fulfilled, and it looks like they're on the verge of being fulfilled right now. But before they're all fulfilled, the rapture, and that could happen at any moment. Having said that, nothing left for me to say except Merry Christmas, and let's keep looking up. He's coming, and it could be today.